So we are the co-hosts of Super Smash Hosts. We're a feminist podcast where we talk about societal issues in Japan that have to do with things like gender or education, politics, anything that comes to our mind, really. And we kind of openly talk about it on our podcast. So that's what we do.
Covered that pretty well. We're both students. Maybe I'll do a bit more personal. Yeah.
Mhm.
Erika studies at Sophia University in Tokyo, and I'm doing my master's in London.
So personally, I've lived in the States and Germany for 1 year in each place, and that's what I have to compare it to. And I think from what I know, female empowerment in Japan is quite progressive, like amongst the people who are active in feminism and identify as feminists and whatnot. But amongst the rest of the population, I feel like it's almost non-existent from what I've noticed and seen. And I feel like individuals and big media companies market a lot of their content towards female consumers. So they'll like moteru, like be attractive for men. So that's what I've noticed. And there's like pretty much not any discussion amongst the general public about female empowerment, I think. So that's what I've noticed.
And I think I would agree a lot with Erika. I think the feminists or like the female empowerment movements are much stronger. They're part of the mainstream a lot more. Um, you see like the women's marches and like even like Instagram or social media, Twitter, in these countries is like often more engaging with these issues. Not that there isn't a women's march in Tokyo, there is one, but I do find it's more niche, and I think the issues also. There's one thing that I found really specific to Japan. Feminism has like class and race, differences. So a black woman will experience something differently than a white woman will, but because Japan is almost entirely a homogenous country, except for the, like foreigners who live there. There's almost some kind of like unanimous experience of like what Japanese women experience.
I would say it's quite hard to pinpoint when exactly. I feel like throughout my early adult life, like in university, I think I started to realize that people view me as a woman, and like I started to get like stares and stuff from men having these uncomfortable experiences. And I think reading a lot online or talking about it with friends about our mutual shared similar experiences, and then just reading about like empowerment online, that kind of hit me, I guess, with it.
I always kind of knew that there was inequality, but I don't think I ever felt it like too too heavily until I actually moved to Japan. And like yeah, that was like the biggest impact, like being on the trains and getting like harassed and like even just feeling like I couldn't always wear what I wanted when I was in Japan. I mean, I could, no one was stopping me, but I felt the stares, things like that that I almost took for granted at home, even though I knew inequality existed.
I definitely don't think it's prominent in Japanese society. Women do want to be housewives, and I feel like in Western cultures, sometimes that's looked down upon if you're a feminist or if you're in like a feminist community sometimes. Um, so I guess it's easier to be in a typical female like role in that sense, but still like that's not for the same reasons, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it exists in pockets. Like if you're looking for it, you can find it. But like you see a lot of these companies jumping onto like pride or feminism in the West, and like it's seen as a cool thing to do. And I you don't see that as much in Japan because feminism itself is not as broad. But I think that's a good thing because it gives the feminists who are working in Japan the opportunity to really like shape the movement to start from the roots and be more wholesome and like learn from the experiences of like the West or other countries.
Like I'm currently job hunting, and I've definitely noticed when I go to like networking events or just career forums and stuff, I've noticed that I really feel like people comment on my appearances instead of asking me questions about like my skills or my career goals and stuff. So
And I entered at Fujitsu like 2 summers ago in Tokyo, realizing the fact that there were very few women who were in senior positions at that company or even in general.
Mm.
Um, it was kind of like looking into my own future, like looking at the barriers I would face.
Being mindful of how to convey your messages in the feminist community, especially because in Japan, I feel like people who aren't familiar with feminism or think feminist activism is like basically matriarchy, like women are better than men kind of thing. So I think just being really inclusive of just everyone really, because feminism in the end is it should benefit everyone, not just women. And I think men should be able to express themselves however they want as well. The second point is maybe making space for growth and like trying to stick together in the feminist community. And I think there's often like this like kind of competition, not always, but I see that sometimes in the community. And I think everyone we're working towards the same goal and we can reach that same goal together if we work, more collaboratively. And, people are going to make mistakes and stuff, but learning from them, I think it will help the whole community grow.
It can seem daunting. Like one person, it can be like, well, what can I do? Like not everybody wants to go on their Twitter, Instagram, and like blast this out. And you don't have
Yeah.
to. Like by no means are we saying that like every person has to be an activist. But I think what every person can do who does care about this is start by looking at your immediate interactions, who you interact with, the kinds of things that happen in your circle. So if you work at a restaurant and you're in charge of hiring people, take a look at who you're hiring. Like, are you hiring men and women equally? If empowerment is something you care about, look at the ways you can make differences in your life or your circle. And I think it's manageable and doable, and it'll make real changes without you feeling like you're up against the entire world and the entire system.